Morning everybody, welcome to the mighty River Murray. We're going to do a quick walk around this particular, let's call it a boat. A name officially unknown, but it is a steel-hulled, timber-topped, tractor-powered paddle wheeler. So I'll get out from in front of this part and get in there. And today we're doing this in one take, so bear with me. So this has a steel hull. It's very, very old. It was originally steam powered. It's got a paddle on each side, as you can see under there. But the reason we're here today is because it's powered by an international B414 tractor engine. So we don't get piped aboard because we're not the Admiral. Don't fall in the river, too many crocodiles. So, excuse the mess. Currently the boat is in a state of repair. We'll have a look at the front. So, here's the controls. So we're not here today to look at the boat primarily, we're here for the power plant. So how you drive this bad boy. Steering wheel, pretty obvious, a bit bigger than a B414. Clutch in and out, left brake, right brake. Kill switch, throttle, and gear shift. So this particular setup runs low box reverse and low box fourth gear, and that's it. Yeah, there it is. We'll get to that in a minute. There's a horrible story to tell in a minute. Come over here. Here we have the paddles, and as you can see, you're pretty close to the action all the way around. Yeah, steering wheel at the front. Oh, hang on, I'm having a go with my new magic filming stick today, so I might get this right in a second. Power plant in the bottom, so piston 1 to 4 sit directly behind the captain, and 2 paddles on each side. All the normal mod cons. There's a kitchen over there and the bathroom over there. Come to the back, make this thing work. Here we go, round we go. And then there's the executive wing. There's actually a spiral staircase under the floor there and 4 berths in the back, but you've got to be about the size of a small gnome to get in it. And then up top, and you can see out the back. I'll walk to the door. We are literally right on the river. So we're about 1,000 miles from home. Came across a couple of days ago. We're on our way to another show, but yeah, the Murray River. So the river at home, the water flows down a river, down another river, down another river, and into the Darling, and then into the Murray. So we're probably floating on water from home. So, and again, new camera stick, we'll work this out. So here's the power plant. I do have all the numbers off the motor and off the tractor. I'll try and put them in the comments section. And again, one take today because I didn't bring my computer, so we're just going to bang this up on YouTube. So please, if you have any questions, I'll try and answer them. If you want to know more, I'll see what I can find out. But currently, the power plant works good, so the engine works really well. It's got a water leak, but it's sat for 5 years, a very easy fix. And then down the back is where the issue is. And if you look carefully, and I'll try and hold the camera still, you might be able to pick that the right-hand side axle has been replaced. And if you look carefully at the top of the case, it's actually bent. So what we think has occurred is old mate who owned it drove it into the riverbank, which has then caused that axle to bend, and then it's caused some fairly catastrophic destruction of the ball gear on the right. But I'll get down there and we'll try and demonstrate. So access here is a little bit dodgy, so please bear with me. If you've got motion sickness at this point from the camera, I do apologise. Alright, it's also very dark down here, so we'll start at the front. Still runs a radiator, still warmed up quite well. It's got a heat exchanger. Not really sure how some of this stuff works. It's very custom. Traditional engine, everything's where it should be. Battery, air cleaner, spaghetti for wiring. Battery tray's a little bit homemade. Utilised all the engine mounts. Here we have the build plate. So 414, it might be an A414. A414 we'll call it a 2609. So it's quite a nice bit of gear. It runs really well. Not traditional red, which was a surprise. And we're going to start to run out of zoom function here in a minute. Instead of wheels, dirty great big drive chains, and they're all in an oil bath, so you don't have to worry about lubrication. And there's enough oil in the bottom of the boat so that there is very little risk of rust. There's a crack in this axle housing. There's a hairline fracture in the back near the PTO, and it's because this axle, they've driven the paddle into the bank, it's pulled back on the axle, it's cracked some stuff. There's been an almighty bang, and currently when the family member bought the boat, the diff lock is stuck on, and you need to be able to drive each wheel independently to be able to turn it around, because that's how it works. Hydraulic actuator on the brakes. There's a cable gear shift, which is a little dodgy. Really impressed with this, and the fact that you can drive the boat from up there, no worries at all. But then the gear shift is actually cable driven, and in all seriousness, that's probably the dodgy part. Clutch, we climb our way over. Clutch is the same, hydraulically actuated. Still got the clutch pedal, basically no wear at all. I really like the PTO shaft engagement. I might be borrowing that to put on my tractor. Then we get down to here, and this is where the problem's at. So just let me shuffle my way around. So as you can see, bull gear on the right looks pretty clean. It's got a little bit of tooth damage on one side, but then over here on the left, and I'll try and zoom in a little bit, you can see that there's plenty of wear on the teeth, particularly on the inside edge and on the outside edge. There's about 9 teeth we've found on the bull gear that are broken. And what I won't be able to show you is inside here. So let me zoom out again. Inside this case, I'll call it a gear. It's probably a cog. Could be anything. Forgive my terminology. But inside here, there's a little cog. It's driven by the bull gear. This one here is destroyed. There's about 1/10 of one tooth left, and I've pulled some bits of metal out from, that's the bung obviously, and then there's a big piece of metal we found in the bottom. And if you could run your hand in the bottom of the case there, it would come out looking like Freddy Krueger got to it, because there's bits of metal everywhere. So basically, hit on the wheel, pressure on the axle, it's bent the housing, it's kicked the bull gear around, bull gear smashed the teeth off, put tension on here, bits of metal everywhere, crunchy, 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 grind, 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 bang. It's currently locked in gear, and it's pretty ugly. So, but from an engineering point, and for those of us who like tractors, this is a gold mine. So let me climb out and get a better look at it. So This was originally steam powered, this boat, and then because of the regulations and laws around steam and the maintenance, they took out a steam plant and they put in an international power plant. And seriously, I'm in awe. I'm not the greatest engineer in the world, and I certainly can't build engines in my backyard and stuff like that. Oh, there's the hydraulic tank that came off the top. It settled there gravitationally. It's pretty heavy. But whoever was sitting around having a few beers one night and decided to put a tractor in the bottom of a paddle wheeler, pretty special. Obviously some issues. I think the long-term plan is to either replace the power plant or do something with it. We have, or the owner has, a replacement gearbox, diff housing, all reconditioned, ready to go. But getting it from there, out there, onto the bank and then back in and back down into there will be quite an interesting feat. So obviously we live a long way away, so we can't easily help. Part of me would like to, and the other part of me says thankfully we live a long way away, because this is a pretty big job. But yeah, so there you go. That's an A414, B414. There's, let's all get in keyboard mode and work out what it is. That's special. So it's coming out of the water in a few weeks' time to get slipped and the hull cleaned up and anodes put in it, and then the rebuild will continue. There's a pretty big community on the river are keen to see this boat going again, and I mean, let's be serious, apart from some minor cosmetic metal damage in the bottom of the box, this is a hell of a bit of gear. So anyway, that's the boat, that's the tractor. I'm not buying a paddle wheeler with a tractor in the bottom. I'm not that brave. But yeah, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. We've got a few things. I've got a really old bulldozer I'm going to do a walk around in a couple of days that's sitting in a paddock and hasn't moved for 10 years. And we're about to buy a big block of land and set the tractors to work. So join the show, say hello, and yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time. Again, apologies, one take, all done. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.